Mary Church Terrell. Mary Church Terrell was born on September 23, 1863 in Memphis, Tennessee. Despite both her parents having been enslaved, her father, Robert Reed Church, became one of the South's first millionaires of African descent. He was an entrepreneur who owned a bank, hotel, restaurant, saloon, and he had real estate investments. Mrs. Terrell's parents impressed upon her the importance of getting an education. She attended the Antioch College Laboratory School in Ohio. Later, she earned a bachelor's degree in classics and a master's degree in education at Oberlin College. She was one of the first women of African descent to attend Oberlin College. After she obtained her degrees, she taught at Wilberforce College for 2 years. She then moved to Washington, D.C., and taught at M Street Colored High School. In 1892, one of her friends, Thomas Moss, was lynched in Memphis because his business competed with businesses owned by whites. It was that incident that led her to become an activist. Although she and Ida B. Wells Barnett started anti-lynching campaigns, her focus was based on the belief of racial uplift, meaning that Black people could help end racial discrimination by advancing each other through community activism, work, and education. She felt that if one person succeeds, then the entire race would succeed as well. She coined the motto, "Lifting as we climb," that was used for the National Association of Colored Women, the NAACP, which she helped found and was president from 1896 to 1901. The NAACP fought for voting and equal rights. In 1895, before becoming the NAACP president, she became the first woman of African descent to be appointed to the District of Columbia Board of Education. She also helped found the National Association of College Women and Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. In 1909, Mrs. Terrell became one of the founders of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP. The summer of 1919, also called the Red Summer, was filled with horrible racial violence against Black citizens that happened in many parts of the country. An investigative committee of Washington, D.C. citizens, to which Mrs. Terrell belonged, was formed to examine the charges of terror and violence against Black people during those horrific events. That committee provided evidence to support the many reports that Black people had been treated unfairly by law enforcement during those riots. Mrs. Terrell wrote many articles and poems about race and gender that appeared in major publications and newspapers. Among her significant writings, she authored What It Means to Be Colored in the Capital of the United States, and in 1940, she wrote her autobiography, A Colored Woman in a White World, which is about her experiences with discrimination. In 1948, after winning an anti-discrimination lawsuit, Mrs. Terrell became the first member of African descent to be a part of the American Association of University Women. 2 years later, in 1950, when she was 86 years old, she was part of a successful lawsuit that ended desegregation in Washington, D.C. restaurants. This lawsuit was an important event in the civil rights movement. Mary Church Terrell was a tireless advocate for civil rights. Her remarkable achievements in fighting discrimination and to helping establish altruistic organizations, which are still active today, are commendable. To learn more about Mary Church Terrell, please visit the websites below. Also, historical paper doll kits are available at lvkpaperdolls.etsy.com. Thank you.